Hi there. Thank you for coming back to this three-part series. If you are new to the channel, just know that there has been a video prior to this that I'm kicking off in April for a three-part entrepreneurial series that is all things last video was all about consistency. Today's video is going to be content, and then we're going to wrap it up in your entrepreneurial journey with this three-part series for quarter two, being all things best practices in your calls to action. So it is C for this three-part series. So I'm Connie Kircher. I serve as your elite entrepreneur coach. I am all things strategy. And let's go ahead and dive in straight into content that converts. Okay. So today's video is specifically talking about content that converts. So again, make sure that you watch part one video because I am going to encourage you. And I loved the comments before and questions about daily actions. And you got to start foundationally with that part before we even dive into, to be honest with you, content that will actually convert. Okay. So specifically, I don't want us just talking about content that gets views, but I want to teach you some best practices today of what actually converts into new customers or sales. Okay. So here's a couple data points that I researched for this three-part series. Did you know that 90% of businesses are creating content that generates $0 in return? So you are putting in potentially hours and hours of work for nothing but for vanity matrices, being likes, postings, resharings, things like that. So today I'm going to show you that there's a three-layer content strategy that truly has leveled up my actual conversion in sales. Not just views, not just likes, not just subscribers, not just followers, not just adding people to an email list. Those are what I call vein metrics. They're important when it comes to engagement and, again, seeing for outreach, but specifically this three-part series and this second part is talking about content that converts. Okay. So remember that if you don't have consistency in what I'm about to share, though, it's not going to really matter. So both of these two strategies work hand in hand, and I want to be very, very transparent about that. Okay. So the content conversion mindset, here's where I want to make a shift. Most creators will ask, what will give me views? What will give me engagement instead of what will get me customers? So there's a massive shift in you watching today's video. Is every piece of content should be really clear that it has a business objective beyond engagement. Okay. So that is a shift for you. Here's the first kind of layer of content that converts is that when you are thinking about an idea or a topic, or again, about to make a post, do a Facebook Live, do a masterclass, do an opt-in, any of the ways that we talk about content marketing, I want you to make a big shift and go, there has to be, I would encourage, and there doesn't have to be anything, it's your business, a clear business objective attached to it. Okay, so there are three layers to what this means, and I'm going to break them down really, really simply for you. So layer one is what I call authority content. This is content that positions you as the expert in your industry. It is very detailed, it is very research backed, and it showcases your own style, your own methodology in your industry. So typically it's not the most popular content, if you will, but it's what gets referenced and shared amongst your ideal clients. Okay. So if they are, networking, or someone in your referral base goes, oh my gosh, Connie has a video on that exact issue, let me send you that link, or that was part of her newsletter. So for example, I constantly am showing the research, the best practices on how to scale your business, how to, again, convert clients, how to do a follow-up and retention model that makes sense for you to be able to scale that business model. That's my authority content. It's not the most shiny content, if you will, but it's helping me in marketplace have an authority and a thought leader in that industry. So think about that first bucket or first layer is you want to be producing really, really high level, detailed, researched base. And again, showcasing your expertise as an authority in your field. Okay. Second layer or bucket, if you will, is now called attraction content. So this is meant to reach new audience. It's more accessible. It really addresses more general pain points, okay? And it literally kind of leverages the trends, okay? So think about it as a wide end funnel. It's not specifically tailored to your exact clientele, but it is attraction content. It is for you to widen your exposure so that more individuals can see your content and then funnel down in a little bit deeper. So for example, when I talk about like my 5 entrepreneur morning routines, that's a pretty general video. That's a pretty general content piece, but it blows up in terms of there's a universal interest, right? Like entrepreneurs in just the general space, we're noticing that, we're engaging in that, and then they could be introduced to further concepts and really my core methodology. All right. So, attraction content shouldn't be everything you do in your content marketing that's going to convert, but it is part of the puzzle. Last but not least is activation content. So, write that down. It is where the magic happens, if you will. Activation content is specifically designed so that you are taking your interested viewers, you're taking your interested followers, and it actually addresses any of their objections. You showcase results in working with you or the solutions that you provided a client or someone that you worked with, and it really does have a strong call to action. Now, again, this 3-part series, I am going to dive into, really creating overall strong calls to action. But again, this third layer is that you really level through and talk about the transformation. You talk about the process of working with you, how they get started with you. That is all ways that you can produce activation content. Okay. So you may be kind of thinking, okay, Connie, I've got the 3 layers. Give me how to break down the ratios. Well, I'm glad you asked. So here's what I encourage in terms of your content ratio as it pertains to how often in your calendar. Okay, so this is how I balance this, and this is how I recommend this for clients. The ratio is 20% of your content. So again, it depends on how often you are posting and how much bandwidth you have for that, but the ratio should stay the same. So 20% should be authority. 60% is the biggest piece of the puzzle or biggest piece of the pie is attraction content. And then 20% is activation. So here is how I map this out for you to actually kind of see a real example. Okay. So, what I encourage is that I do for maximum effort, I do 2 videos that are in authority. I'm very detail oriented, very research on a very specific topic. And then I will do about 5 videos that are general, that are more on the trends, that have keywords, if you will, that I know are pain points for majority of past clients, current clients, and future clients. I tailor a specific topic when I'm doing attraction content to be a space of a new industry that I'm wanting to cross over to. And then I will do a video or 2 specifically talking about here is my next group coaching program. Here is my next adulting virtual happy hour. Here is my next 90-day better than before. So I'll specifically do then a video, a post, a Facebook Live for a call to action, about once a week in terms of then they can sign up for, or here is the next step. Okay. So that is how I map it out. That's just an example for you. Here are 4 questions for you to get started because I think that's really important. So pause this video. Again, get out a notes, part on your phone or get something to write with. Here are 4 implementation steps I really want you to reflect on. So the first one is I want you to list 3 authority content ideas you have. And again, those need to showcase your expertise. So get 3 ideas out of your head onto paper. Second is list 5. See the the methodology there? List 5 attraction content ideas that could reach new audiences. So if you need to pause the video, again, or if this is going to be a CEO or a marketing day you want to work on, list 5 attraction content ideas. Then back up the train and go to list 3 new content ideas that specifically are to convert the viewers. So when I say new, being maybe you've never said, sign up for this. Here is the bonus. Here is the link. Here is the consultation. Here is the free masterclass. So make sure that you get really specific on what you want then your 3 activation content ideas to be. And now you map these out for the month. That's the 4th part. Okay. So here's what I love working with clients is I know you all probably have a lot of ideas if you're watching my channel on some maybe like attraction content, but really lean into that first one of authority and really lean into that last one of attraction. And then the most important part of today's video is make sure that you move that to the calendar. So when are you going to create that newsletter, that video, that opt-in, that checklist, that best practices piece for you, and then make sure you map that out on your calendar. All right. So creating content without strategy, to be honest with you, is going to keep you very busy, but it's not going to work. Okay. So I hope I went very detailed in this 3-layer approach to help you that there is an ecosystem when it comes to this 3-part series. There is a foundation of making sure that you take consistency and you got it to go, okay, every month I'm going to build in these 3 layers of content that will convert, right? So make sure that you've hit subscribe on my channel if you've not already. Please, in the comment section below, tell me the strongest area you think you are. Are you strongest in your authority showcase content? Are you strongest in attraction content? Or do you think that you're strongest actually in activation content? I'd love to hear that and see where you are thriving in one of those areas in your business. And of course, if I can support you in your entrepreneurial journey of helping you be accountable, helping you build strategies that scale your sales and your marketing and your retention and really a business model that is a win-win for you in terms of your strengths and how you want to serve, please make sure that you click the 30-minute consultation. Love to get to know new business owners and if I would be a fit to be coming alongside you for coaching. So I will see you in the last video, which again is going to be all things call to action. So I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger here. Make sure that you hit that bell notification so that you will see when that last video is posted in this 3-part series as we kicked off April. I'll see you all on the last video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.